This tutorial is on Unit 3, Lesson 6, Random Numbers. So up here at the top, you would go to the first page, the overview page, and click on it to overview this lesson. You're going to learn how to generate and use random numbers in a program and how to update a value stored in a variable. And then you would need to read and complete all the content materials and the activities, and then turn in your lesson assignment. So you'd click Next to go to the next page in Canvas. Here's a lesson page that goes over what is a random number. Then you would read through this next page, which is the lesson on creating random numbers and what they do. So you need to read through that and then click Next. And then here's your assignment. So just like all the previous lessons, you would go ahead and click the random numbers link and you would make a copy of it. And then from there, you have your worksheet. Looks just like all the other lesson worksheets that you've done previously. There's a quick link that takes you right to Lesson 6 if you aren't already there. And then you can see here you have skill building, 3 assignments, circle 2, 3, and 4. These are actual levels. And then your practice, which is on 5, and then the assessment is on 6, and then a challenge on 7. And just like you've done previously, you're going to be pasting in those share links and then making them active by hitting return so that they hyperlink. Now we are over into code.org. We are actually going to do the activities, the levels. So on your assignment, the first level was level 2. And so we're going to go straight to 2, but here on level 1, it has some more information about random numbers, and so you can click and get some examples. Anytime you want to mouse over anything in the toolbox, you can have a help menu pops up and says see examples. So if you want to do that, you could actually click that, and it'll take you to another web page where you can read about how random numbers are used or whatever that tool has in it. So just like under drawing, if you just mouse over background color, it'll give you examples. Fill, all of these give you examples of how you would use these codes. But the new code that you have is random number in your toolbox. So this first level here just kind of goes over random number, and it wants you just to run it. So you can see that this random number here, you have an orange ellipse, and that random number, it's X, so this is X, this is Y, its X location is random, the Y location is 200 always, and then the height and the width, or the width and the height of the ellipse is always 50. So you have X is a random, 200 is your Y because it goes X, Y, WH, width and height, and then 50. So as I keep running this over and over again, you're going to see the ellipse only change its position on the X axis versus it won't change on the Y. It'll always be on 200. So watch this. So when I run it, you see how the ellipse is just moving horizontally. It's always at 200 on the Y. But the X, which is left to right, is changing because it's random. It says move it anywhere between 0 and 400. Move the X anywhere, the X location. So it's randomized. Okay, so when you kind of get used to what that random number does, and you can put a random number for Y. You could put random number, I could drop this in and add it for Y and make it random. And I can make that randomized too. And I go, well, let's make that randomized 0 to 200 maybe, and watch what happens. You're going to see now both X and Y are random. So when I reset and run, okay, you see now how the circle is moving up and down now versus just X. So it's moving on the Y and the X. I can make the size be random too. I can do that. So I can add these in all I want and put these to be random and say I want the size of the circle to be random between these sizes. So I've got all this randomness happening. So you see how it's changing? like different sizes too. Right? So random number can be used a various different ways. So you go to number 2 once you kind of practice there and get used to that random number. And then follow the directions on this one. Always click run. And then it says it wants you to use random number for the Y parameter, kind of like what I just showed you. So to find that, you click math, and then just like I showed you before, drop it right there in that Y, and then get it to randomly move between X and Y. When you're done with that, remember, click the share button, get the link, and paste it on your assignment. And then you would go to number 3. And yep, you have to do number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 3 is the eyes. So last time we had you just do the eyes so they were the same size. But now, as you can see in this little graphic to the right, we want you to randomize the eye size. Okay? So when I click run right now, my eyes are always the same size. So what am I going to do to get them to randomize? Well, it gives you right here, do this. Assign a random number to the variable eye size so the eyes automatically change every time you run the program. Remember, the left and right eyes should always match each other. It says show me how. So if I click that button, it's showing me how. So you're going to use this random number somewhere over here to make that randomize. Okay, so once you figure that out, then you're going to click the share button when you've completed that assignment and it's working, where it's randomizing every time you click reset. It just randomly goes to a different size of eye, and then paste that in your assignment. Then go to number 4. And number 4, this is where changing variable values. So watch over here to the upper right. Watch what happens to those flowers. It says these 2 flowers use a single variable to store their petal size, but the value stored in the variable changes in the middle of the program. Do this. Run the program several times to see how it works. Discuss the coding with somebody or just look at the coding. Because we're online, or if you have a partner in classroom, or if you're online, or whatever situation, if you're face-to-face or online program, then you can discuss it with somebody else. Change the program so that the flowers have random petal sizes as in the image. So you need to have it, where the center is always yellow, but then it gets random on those petal sizes. So if you run this, you can see that the yellow circles are always the same size, but my petals are always the same size, and I want them to be random. So again, you're going to use that random number, and you're going to specifically figure that out, because there's this petals for one of the flowers, and then there's these petals for the other flower. So there's 2 different ones there. So you got to figure that out, where you're going to use this random number. Once you've got that figured out, you're going to click the share button, get that link, and then paste it into your assignment. Then you'll go to number 5. On number 5, let me look here, you get to choose one. So you'd either choose modify the planets or debug random shape position. So again, choose the one you want, follow the directions, and always run. And if you want to show the grid, you can. That's kind of hard to see the grid against black. But read the directions, and once you're done, click the share button and then paste it over into your assignment. And then you would go to 6. And on 6, there is just one to do. This is called the rainbow snake. It starts you out when you run the program. It starts out the rainbow snake for you. You just need to add the 3 other ellipses with different colors and make sure that you are using random number. Because every time you click reset and run, you should see, just like you see now, you see how the orange and the yellow and the red circle all kind of make it look like they're moving like a snake. They're just not always in one position, because the X position is a random, that's a Y. The Y position here is always random. So you got X and then Y is the random one. Once you get the green and the blue and the purple circles on here and get them to be random, then you would click the share button and then you would paste that onto your assignment document or worksheet. Then you would go to 7. Always test everything out. So on 7, you get to choose one. So except for free play. Free play is not allowed. So you would choose either A, B, C, D, or E. And then do those and then paste your link here. So once you're done with that assignment, remember, click Start Assignment, and then you would either use text entry or website URL. Some of you might have the Google Drive link, and then you would submit your assignment.